What's up, guys? This is Sorin, and I would like to welcome you to another Event Dino Taming video here on Sorin Gaming. Today, Extinction Chronicles 5 update just dropped with the new Bionic Tek Quetzal, and I am super excited to go tame one. So this part of the video does take place on our official legacy server on the island, 372, and I did actually go scout out one of these on my Griffon because it's a lot faster than a Tapahara. I felt like I was really lucky to find one as quickly as I did. They only have a 5% spawn rate, so I found on my Griffon, and then I hopped back to the base and got this Tapahara. So as I was thinking about how I wanted to tame this, there are a lot of different options. You can use a Quetzal trap, which I'll show you at the end of this video. You can use a Griffon, which I'll show also later in this video. But my thought was that really a Tapahara is a tame that's accessible to new and veteran players alike, and this method is something that any of y'all can use to tame a Quetzal pretty easily, even if you don't have those higher level tames. So there she is, the Red Beauty level 6 Quetzal. Gonna be good for absolutely nothing, except for perhaps making this video, but definitely super stoked. Alright, so the way this method works is you need to land your Tapahara on the ground and obviously dismount it, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to hop in the passenger seat of the Tapahara. Alright, so once there, you need to whistle attack to a Dino, which is the period key, and when you do that, your Tapahara will take off, as you can see. And then now that it's in the air, you can use your comma key to tell it to go here, go there. And this way you essentially get infinite stamina, so you can just keep following the Quetzal as it flies away, and from the passenger seat of the Tapahara you can shoot. Now, as you can see, I chose to bring a long neck for this tame, and that is because the damage it does relative to the amount of torpor it does is a lot better than a crossbow, which is usually the way I like to tame most dinos. But Quetzals have a pretty high amount of torpor relative to the amount of health they have, and so if you're not careful, you can pretty easily kill one on accident when taming it. Also, their torpor drain is pretty darn fast, and because they have so much torpor, a lot of times it takes a while to actually get it down. So anyway, I just find that long necks are a much safer weapon to use when trying to tame Quetzals. Now you'll also note that as I'm following this, I'm actually using the attack command pretty regularly on the Quetzal, because when you do that, the Tapahara actually flies faster to get to it, and then once I'm right at it, I will then quickly tell the Quetzal, or tell the Tapahara to just go somewhere close by to it so it doesn't actually do damage. So as much as Quetzals look like they're obviously water dinos, they in fact cannot breathe underwater, so it is not an incredibly smart move to knock them out while over a river. So sad. Alright, so before I show you the next Tek Quetzal tame, I at least want to show you a method that we usually use for taming Quetzals when we want to be sure that it's safe, and I probably should have done this with that red one. But in this, what you're going to do is, if you already have a Quetzal, you just put a platform saddle on it, and then you're going to put 4 foundations, and you're going to build out ceilings 2 to the side, on each side rather, so it'll be 4 wide and then 3 deep, and then you're just going to build those door frames, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then 1 on the sides. And it's going to be 3 tall, and basically you just fly your Quetzal on top of another Quetzal where it gets inside of it, and then you dismount. And when you do that, it makes the structures on your platform saddle solid, and you can then just shoot the Quetzal with impunity and knock it out, which is great. I will note that if you zone out this platform saddle in the Quetzal, it will land, so that's a bad thing. What I usually do is actually use this to basically get it to stop flying over an area that I know is safe, and then I just drop it on the ground and tame it down there. But if you have Simulant, you can stay on the Quetzal while it's being tamed and keep it airborne. Sometimes it just doesn't drop down anyway when you don't have it dismounted. That does happen sometimes, but yeah, just wanted to show you this method. All right, let's check out the next Tek Quetzal tame. All right, so here we are at Tek Quetzal number 2, a level 86, beautiful purple. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, this tame does take place on my little test server that I recently set up. I did try to get one to spawn on the island again. I killed quite a few Quetzals and it just wasn't happening, regular Quetzals. And again, the Tek variant only happens 5%, and Quetzals by themselves are actually pretty rare spawns and hard to find. So anyway, hopped over here and wanted to show you all how to tame one on a Griffon, which is actually the way I've tamed most of my Quetzals these days. I like Griffons because they can keep up with the Quetzal throughout the tame. You can shoot while riding them, and yeah, just it's kind of the lazy man's method, but probably my favorite, but not necessarily the safest. So yeah, let's get this guy down and see what he looks like. Oh, so one thing I did want to note about kind of why I'm interested in taming these Tek Quetzals is because we actually find Quetzals to be incredibly useful tames. And what we use them for is we have platforms on the back of them, and we use them to move our dinos to obelisk when bossing. At least we used to do that mostly whenever we didn't have our telepad set up, but they're great for that. But then also we still use them for feeding our different bases. So we set them up with tons of Tek troughs, or not Tek troughs, but just normal troughs in the back. And one trick that you might not know about is that if you log out if you log out when no one else is in range and you zone out an area, all the dinos in range of that trough will actually fill up their hunger with the food in the trough instantaneously in the time you're logged off. So basically we'll just fly our Quetzal to an area full of meat, log out, log back in, see if we have any meat left. If so, we'll move on to the next place. But anyway, it's an incredibly time efficient way to feed pretty large groups of dinos that are spread out real quickly.
Flying over streets and our broken hearts, but they can even touch us. We found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Oh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubt.
All right, we got him. So just to give you an idea of how many arrows this took to take down this 86, this is about 190% crossbow, and it took about 75 arrows. So just to give you an idea of how many you would need for this tame. So first thing we're going to do is throw down our spiked walls to make sure that we don't have anything mess with our Quetzal, if we can help it.
We're from a different time, yeah, we're of a different breed, 'cause what we got is time.
Alright, so here we can see kind of the danger of using a bow, because we managed to do about 2,700 damage to him out of his 4,000. Had we used a dart gun, we probably would have only done like, I don't know, 1,500, so it would have been a much safer tame. We can see he's got 11.2 thousand torpor, 2,400 food. So according to Dododex, a level 68 is going to take 41 kibble and is going to be about 2 hours to tame. I also want to note that with that 11.2 thousand torpor, without any narcotics, he would wake up on his own after 20 minutes. So you'll want to put that value into Dododex to see how long yours has before you need to apply the narcotics. Also worth noting, Quetzals, like most carnivores, are best tamed using the starve taming method. However, they do have less food value than a lot of other carnivores, so you actually do have to put the food in before they're completely starved. Otherwise, they will starve to death before they before they have enough missing hunger that you could tame them in one fell swoop. So go ahead and let them get to 0, and then go ahead and put the food in, and then you probably have to wait another about 15% for them to finish taming out. So here you can see I've waited and he's about down 7,000 torpor. So as I'm sure you all know, each narcotic is worth 40 torpor. So in order to fill him up that missing 7, I'm going to go ahead and force feed him that 175 narcotics. So that over the next maybe 5 minutes will fill his torpor bar back up to full, and then we can continue our starve tame. Alright, so I managed to wait about 30 minutes, got him to 22.1% tame when I put the food in, and yeah, you know, thought about it and realized I'm already cheesing it. There's probably not a heck of a lot of reason to wait a whole 2 hours for this to tame. So anyway, decided to go ahead and force tame him. He turned out at 127. I think that was about 95% taming efficiency. I did punch him a couple times, but yeah, turned out pretty great. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you perhaps learned something about taming Quetzals and got a chance to see what these new Tek Quetzals look like, which they look amazing. I know that I plan to be taming several over the next couple days, hopefully some 180s, and I can get some really amazing Tek Quetzal lines going. But yeah, I'm also going to put some footage kind of after this video of some different wild spawns that I'm going to spawn in just to see what the different colors are. But yeah, appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I plan to continue putting out videos, so hope that you'll consider subscribing. And yeah, just hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.